So chapter 13 is about conducting interviews. And oftentimes we think of interviews as a tool for researchers, but interviews are a great tool for anyone who would like to learn about a particular topic. People request interviews from me all the time about working in the West Side, or working in Chicago, or in Puerto Rico. The other day, I had people from Envision Utah contacting me about how to integrate or involve people that come from diverse backgrounds, thinking about ethnic and racial backgrounds, but also low income and so on. So people interview you for all kinds of things, and the idea is that they're talking to a specialist about a particular topic that they would like to learn more. So as a planner, you can do exactly the same thing. You can contact people in other cities. It's something that I have done. For example, if you never have done paint a pavement in your city, or you have never have implemented accessory dwelling units, you might want to talk to other cities who have done these and see which kind of ordinances they create and what worked for them, what didn't, what maybe were some of the controversies that arise, and also like why they learn. I think that's like one of the most important questions. I had someone interview me the other day about paint a pavement project. So, and I would say so much like it was a formal interview, more like a conversation. And they said, well, I'm just going to pick your brain and everything that you know about this particular topic. And then they asked the question of like, what you wish you did differently. Also, what was the most important thing that came out of this, or what you learned from this? So the idea is like to ask questions that will help you if you're trying to do something similar. I also wanted to say that you'll be amazed to about how many people actually like give you from their time for you to pick their brain. And most times you don't have to pay, so it really is like free knowledge that you're getting from someone who dedicated a lot of time to this particular project. Sometimes you might want to offer someone a pay, especially if they're like someone that might not make a lot of income and they're very busy. As an incentive, you might say, well, we're going to offer them $100 for talking to us for an hour, or something like that, as a way of like saying thank you for their time. But that's not really that common. Most times people that are professionals, they simply will give you from their time. You can also conduct interviews with stakeholders and community leaders and residents, so it's not only particular experts. And people provide much information in an interview than in a public forum. So maybe let's say that somebody came to your public meeting and they voiced some concerns, but they only had like the 2 minutes to talk about it. So maybe you will be interested in having a conversation to understand better their perspective. So you might want to request an interview that it lasts half hour, an hour, and you can really understand what is that perspective. In particular, if you thought that it was intriguing or interesting during that short period of time. And it could be that not that people that are coming to the public hearings at all, but maybe it's like people in the neighborhood that actually you haven't heard from, and they're unlikely to come to meetings anyway. Let's say that you want to talk to some of the business owners that will be affected because there will be a strict closure while construction is like happening, and the construction will last a long time and they might lose some business because of that. So you want to talk to them and interview them and see what are their thoughts. Maybe they can come up with solutions. Maybe they will rent in another place while that is happening. So the point being is that you want to get the insights of someone, and because of this you want to get an interview, particularly if it's like if you're trying to get more in-depth information. And it's just like a general purpose tool that planners have as a part of their public participation program. And but to reiterate, most of the time you will talk to experts, to executive directors of nonprofit organizations, or to CEO of businesses and other professionals, but you also might interview community members and residents about a particular issue that is happening, or about specifically if it's like about a site or a specific neighborhood. So planning needs to engage the communities that they work in, and one way that they can collect data is like simply through like surveys and through other quantitative data, but it's important that you understand that qualitative data such as like focus groups or like interviews are very important in order to address like context specific issues and issues in a local community. So community leaders can talk about their missions, or like how they achieve equity, how they are being affected by different policies, what can be done to improve future programs and procedures. So again, they will give you very valuable qualitative information. And even though it might not be statistically significant, it's like very valid and very important for planners. And next we will talk about some guidelines for conducting interviews.